So I have a pair of queens, but this player has a pair of sixes. We both have a pair, so we have to look at who has the higher pair. I do. So this player is going to lose their play and their anti-bet. And then we discard the cards.
Hi, my name is Erika Wolf. I'm an instructor at the Crescent School of Gaming and Bartending in Las Vegas, Nevada. And today we're going to cover 3-card poker. The first thing that we need you to understand is the ranking hands in 3-card poker, and also how to read the cards. So whenever it comes to your cards that are numbered, being 2 through 10, those are going to hold their value based on the number that they have. Now, once you start getting into ace, king, queen, and jack, those ones are holding a higher ranking than the cards below, so 10 and less. Ace is the highest, then the king, then the queen, and then jack. Everyone might be used to blackjack, but we're using poker ranking hands over here in 3-card poker. That's why it's called 3-card poker. So for example, if you were to have a 10 and someone else had a 6, or the player had a 6, the house would win. If the player had a king and I had a queen, then the player would win. And this is what we call the high card. This is the lowest ranking when it comes to your poker hands, and basically the only card that's the highest is your best thing you got, so that's considered your high card. Now we're going to move on to pairs. So first we have our high card, and then what beats a high card is going to be pairs. So pairs is when you have 2 of the same card. So if I had a pair of 6s, that's going to be any high card. If my player had an ace high and I had a pair of 2s, I would beat their ace high because 2 cards beats the 1 card. If the player themselves also had a pair, then I'm going to compare the size of our pair. So if they had a pair of 6s and I had a pair of 7s, I would win and the player would lose. If I had a pair of aces and they had a pair of kings, I would win and they would lose. After pairs is flush. All right, so you have your high card, pairs, and then flush. Those of you who are familiar with poker, this is where the rules are probably going to start looking a little weird to you. And basically the rules in 3-card poker have been adjusted for the game itself, so you kind of got to let that go and follow the rules of 3-card poker. So after pair is a flush. So what is a flush? A flush is when all the suits match. That means your clubs, spades, hearts, or diamonds. You have all diamonds or all clubs. That would be a flush. So for your 3 cards, all of them have to have matching suits. If you're not comparing the hand based on like a pair or whatever, let's say that you have a flush versus a flush. What do we do in that situation? Basically, you are not going to rank their hand based on the suits themselves, but you're going to be looking to the number. Okay? So let's say that I have a king high of hearts and they have a king high of spades, but we're both a flush. If we have all 3 cards exactly the same, but a different suit, it's going to be a push. But let's say that we both have a king. We're going to move on to the next card. If I have a 6 and they have a queen as their following card, they will win. So basically, when you're comparing your flushes, make sure you compare the number. And now we're going to move on to the straight. So we just covered high card, pair, flush, now straight. All right? So straight is when it goes in numerical order. The cards that you have, all 3 go in numerical order. We are not concerned with the suits themselves. They can all be different, not a big deal. For a straight, we're only worried about it being in order. Keep in mind, your ace can be used for a straight as well as a 1. So you can do 1, 2, 3, and it can also stand on the high end of a straight for ace, king, queen. If you are competing with another player who has a straight as well, we're going to look at the first card and see who has the highest straight. So if I had a king high straight, meaning king, queen, jack, and they had a 10, or like let's say they had an 8, 7, 6, I will beat their hand.
Hey everybody, my name is Byron. I'm also an instructor at the Crescent School of Gaming and Bartending as well. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos so far. As you can see, we're in the editing room. This is where I splice all these videos together and edit after everything's already been filmed. If you guys happen to find any value in the course so far, and you feel like you want to support us, please go to the video description and you guys can literally buy us a coffee. There'll be a link in the description where you can just buy us a coffee or buy us a beer, whatever the case is. These videos take hours to make. I know it might only be just a few minutes that you guys are watching, but there's hours and hours in the background that it takes to produce these videos. So any support would be greatly appreciated. Any support that we receive from you guys goes straight into helping us continue to produce this free and detailed content for you guys. And with that, I'll get you back to your lesson, and I'll see you guys next time.
Now we're moving on to 3 of a kind. 3 of a kind is going to be above a straight. So basically, straight and below, a 3 of a kind is going to be. So what is a 3 of a kind? A 3 of a kind is when you have 3 cards that have the same number or letter. We are not concerned about the suits. Because 3-card poker is dealt with a single deck, that's impossible. Let's say that I have a 3 of a kind that's 444, and the player has 777. We would compare the number itself. So that means the player would win with their 777. And finally, the straight flush. The straight flush is going to be one of the highest ranking hands in 3-card poker. And it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a straight and a flush. Basically, your 3 cards have to have all the same suit and go in numerical order. Now, again, let's say that we have a player who has a straight flush as well. We are looking at the high card and then moving on, of course, to the next card. So let's say that I have a king, queen, jack, and my player has 7, 6, 5. I would win. Because we're not concerned about the suits themselves. As long as it's a straight flush versus a straight flush, we are just going to be looking at the high card. You're not concerned about suits at all. Now there's one more thing, or a couple of things we should cover, and basically that is the 6-card bonus. On the 6-card bonus, they have some additional poker ranking hands on there that you need to be familiar with when it comes to the terminology. One of those things is the full house, okay? So what is a full house? A full house is when someone has a 3 of a kind and a pair together, okay? So that can be any 3 of a kind and any pair. It can be king, king, king and 2, 2, or a 5, 5, 5 and a 3, 3. Like, it doesn't matter. As long as it's a 3 of a kind with a pair, you have yourself a full house. Let's move on to the next one, which is the 4 of a kind. The 4 of a kind is very similar to the 3 of a kind, except you have one more card. Basically, you have all 4 cards matching the same number. Again, we are not concerned about the suits. So 4 of a kind.
Hey everybody, it's Byron again. I hope you found the video helpful. If you guys are interested in knowing how to apply this information and learning how to deal the game itself, I recommend watching this video here, where I'm going to teach you guys how to actually deal the game using this information that you just learned. Before I leave you, I also wanted to take a moment to say thank you to Crescent School of Gaming and Bartending. They allowed us to shoot these videos on site as well as use their equipment in order to make these videos. If you guys are interested in signing up for Crescent or becoming a dealer or learning a new game or anything like that, I'm gonna put a link in the description so you guys can go down there, click there, and then you can either contact them or have them contact you. Just be sure that when you contact them, let them know that Byron and Erika sent you, and they'll be able to take care of you from there. And I'll see you guys in the next lesson.